Pivot tables are the most powerful feature in Excel, and they're way easier to set up than you think. In the next few minutes, I'll show you how to create one from scratch, customize it, and use it to answer real business questions. If you analyze any kind of data at work, this tutorial will change how you use Excel forever. Here's what makes pivot tables so powerful. Imagine you have 10,000 rows of sales data and your boss asks you to break it down by region and product category. Without a pivot table, you'd spend an hour writing sumifs and formatting. With a pivot table, it takes 30 seconds. You drag, you drop, and the summary appears. That's not an exaggeration. I'll prove it right now. I have a sales data set here with 10,000 transactions. Columns for date, region, salesperson, product, category, quantity, and revenue. To create a pivot table, I select any cell in the data, go to Insert, and click Pivot Table. Excel automatically detects my data range. I'll put on a new sheet and click OK. Now I have an empty pivot table with a field list on the right. Every pivot table has 4 areas: rows, columns, values, and filters. Rows define your vertical grouping, like regions or product names. Columns define horizontal grouping. Values are the numbers you want to calculate: sum, count, average. And filters let you slice the entire table by a criterion without changing the structure. Think of it as drag-and-drop data analysis. Let me build a meaningful report. I'll drag region to rows, category to columns, and revenue to values. Instantly, I can see total revenue broken down by region and product category. Now I'll drag salesperson to filters so I can view the data for any individual rep. Click the drop-down, select a name, and the entire pivot table updates. This is why managers love pivot tables. Raw pivot tables look plain, but you can format them like any Excel range. Right-click any value and choose Number Format to add currency symbols and thousand separators. You can also add calculated fields, custom formulas that use pivot table data. For example, I could create a profit margin field that divides profit by revenue, and it calculates automatically for every combination of rows and columns. Let me add a calculated field for average order value. I go to Pivot Table Analyze, click Fields, Items, and Sets, then Calculated Field. I'll name it Average Order Value, and the formula is revenue divided by quantity. Click OK, and it appears as a new column in my pivot table, calculated correctly for every region and category combination. No manual formulas needed. The final level is adding visuals. Select your pivot table and insert a pivot chart. It stays linked to your pivot table, so when you change the table, the chart updates automatically. Then add slicers, which are visual filter buttons. They make your pivot table feel like an interactive dashboard. Combine a pivot table, a pivot chart, and 2 or 3 slicers, and you've built a professional reporting dashboard in under 5 minutes. Pivot tables are the #1 most requested Excel skill in job postings worldwide. Whether you're in finance, marketing, operations, or HR, knowing how to build a pivot table instantly makes you more valuable. It's not just about the technical skill. It's about being the person who can turn raw data into clear answers in minutes instead of hours. That's pivot tables from zero to dashboard in one tutorial. Practice with the free dataset linked in the description. Hit subscribe if you want more tutorials like this every week. Clear, practical Excel skills that make you faster at work.